Saruman's treachery has delayed me too long. I can only hope that Frodo and Sam have left the Shire. Without my aid, their road will be a perilous one. Frodo must rely upon the Rangers and your prowess to see him to the end. The Nazgul have crossed the Eisen and are heading for the Shire. The hobbits must be quick-footed enough to escape the wrath of the Nine. And we can only hope that Frodo slips through the traps of the enemy. What road did you take, Frodo? The ring-wraiths ride openly in the Shire, but there are places which are even more terrible and dangerous. If you choose the path I fear, search for the light in the darkness. The Rangers which once guarded the borders of the Shire have been scattered or slain. Frodo has left the Shire, but great perils await him in Bree. I am too late. Someone must find him before the Nazgul. Saruman the White has become the jailer of Mordor. It was he who orchestrated my capture and imprisoned me atop Orthanc. Why here the Windlord came to my rescue and saved me from this accursed tower. All would have been lost if Strider hadn't found Frodo and the hobbits. I came too late to Bree, and too early to Weathertop, where beyond my aid, the Witch King and his minions attacked Frodo, wounding him with a Morgul blade. Thankfully, Aragorn was there to save him. Elrond has healed Frodo of his Morgul wound, and now the time has come to decide the fate of the One Ring. I can see no other path than that which leads to Mount Doom. Who then shall defend Eriador against the shadow of Angmar? Legolas pursued the Nazgul and hindered his plans to ally with the wood trolls. But the ring-wraith escaped. The Nazgul must be found, for he is certainly aware that the One Ring has entered Rivendell, though it is hoped that Elrond's vigil keeps him blind to the secret ways. As long as one of the Nine remains abroad, we cannot hope to leave Rivendell, for neither the ring nor the ring-bearer would pass safely beyond the bounds of the Troll Shores. The missing Nazgul fled to the ancient ruins of Heligrod, where he and the god Lord Drogoth attempted to raise a dragon as the most terrible of wights. Though the ritual was successful, the Nazgul was sent back to Mordor, and the Dragon White fled. I fear that Drogoth may yet bring the Dragon White under his control, but that is not compared to the burden I must guide south. An army of Dunedain and hillmen from Ohire passed into the eastern reaches of Angmar, only to be caught in the dire trap of Ramus Deluan. Though the secret of the stones has been revealed, no sign of Golodir, the ranger who led them, has yet been found. It can only be hoped that some part of Golodir's army has survived, and that they are able to hinder the advances of Angmar. Lorniel, daughter of Golodir, sought to free her father from the clutches of Mordorith at Carndum, but her plan was folly, for Mordorith slew her at the gates and allowed Golodir to go free, a broken man. What hope can Eriador have against a wraith nearly the equal of the Witch King himself? The Gift of Duloc, Avenger of the West, renewed Golodir's spirit, and with the sword he avenged the death of his daughter. But though Mordorith was weakened, he was not destroyed, retreating to nurse his hurts and plot revenge. How will this help us in our struggles? Will Sauron maintain control, or will another power claim Angmar? Amathiel, the champion of Angmar, has now also become its regent in the absence of Mordorith. Under the lidless eye of Sauron, she has removed herself to the ruined city of Annúminas, seeking a power to strengthen her position. A dark time is coming for Eriador, a time which may only be averted through pain and grief. Long have the Rangers of the North guarded the ruins of Annúminas. When Amathiel came, they struggled to repel her, and after a bitter battle managed to recover the Palantir. But victory came with a terrible price, and Amathiel saw something in the Palantir which might lead her to Narquil. The Rangers of Evendim mourned their numbers slain during Mordrembor's escape from Tinudir. Meanwhile, the Angmarim searched the wilderness for Narquil, the ring of Amathiel. I fear that Amathiel has already discovered Narquil's resting place, and with it, the doom of the North. Elrond Half-Elven sent emissaries to Evendim to learn the fate of Laerdan. The search led from Annúminas to Samathbaur in Angmar, where Laerdan was rescued and more was learned of the ring Narquil. Amathiel's forces now march into the frozen wastes of Forochel, where the heroes of the free peoples must follow. With the aid of his rescuers, the elf Laerdan was able to recover half of the ring Narquil in Angmar. Soon after, the location of the remaining half was discovered in the icy wastes of Forochel, though the minions of Angmar were close at hand. Now the ring must be returned to Rivendell before Angmar and Amathiel can recover their full strength. All that she desired seemed within her grasp, yet her father's betrayal of the free peoples was rewarded with betrayal against her. Mordorith has returned, and Eriador stands on the brink of conquest by the forces of Angmar. As for Amathiel, what future awaits her? Her fate is uncertain. Beguiled by Sauron into crafting the ring Narquil, Narmeleth fell into madness, allowing the spirit of Amathiel to overcome her. The death of her father, Laerdan, freed her mind, and once more as Narmeleth, she led the free peoples against the steward of Angmar. But in the end, her redemption required her life.
And so it was that the Iron Garrison passed the doors of Durin and entered the dark of Moria. But they were not the first to brave the mines, nor will they be the last. The dwarves have found the Heart of Fire, the greatest of their lost forges. Though Ziegelberg, the legendary mithril axe, was not found there, the discovery of the forges was itself a great victory. Enheartened by the victory, Broger and his following have moved on to establish a command in the 21st Hall. The company of Balin, son of Fundin, came to a foul end in the dark halls of Moria. Durin's bane is gone, but many orcs still dwell within those halls. Can the returning dwarves maintain their hold? The orcs prepare for war, and the dwarves must do the same. Through the heroic efforts of the heroes of Eriador, Broin is brought out alive from the flooded depths of Moria. From the mists of legend, he brings with him the mithril axe Ziegelberg. Will the axe be enough to sway the balance of power in Moria? Or have the dwarves already suffered too many losses? Bori's assault upon Marzog's fortress ended in tragedy, with most of the dwarves slain and Bori himself taken captive, as well as Ziegelberg. The dwarves elsewhere in Moria repelled, though barely, the retaliation of the orcs against them. But another attack could spell doom for Durin's folk. Mithrandir faced his match in Moria, a Balrog of Morgoth. Into the depths they fell, then rose again up the endless stair. There they did battle one against the other, and the fire of it was terrible. In the end, Mithrandir threw down the Balrog, though he himself fell into shadow. Yet who is to say what his end might be? Not all hope is yet lost. The Iron Garrison struggled against new dangers unearthed in the depths of Moria, and the errant mark of a long-dead scribe brought to light a secret way to the throne room of Durin. Marzog was defeated, but not before revealing that his captives had been sent with Gorothul to Dol Guldur, the dark fortress in Mirkwood. From the great heights to the deepest depths, you sought for and destroyed the relics of Gorathul, delaying for a time his designs on Moria. Now all our eyes must look forward, across the shadowed forest of Mirkwood, to where the hosts of the enemy gather their strength. The assault of the Golden Host on Dol Guldur has achieved what Lord Celeborn sought: to delay the forces of the enemy from mounting their attack upon Lothlorien. And yet, not all stories are ended, and there is more to tell of the elves than dwarves.
In the watches of the night, messages came from Galadriel of Lorien, messages that give me pause. The company that set forth from Rivendell with 9 now departs with 8, bearing the gifts of the Lord and Lady. Their road takes them now down the waters of Anduin and beyond my sight. The Dunedain have been called to fulfill their purpose in this age, to ride to the aid of their chief Aragorn, son of Arathorn. The road of the Grey Company will be fraught with peril, but they must not fail.
The road of the Grey Company has brought us already over field and under stone, but a gathering dread has settled upon me here in Enedwaith. Who is this dwarf now? How can he know where our road may take us? And I feel this question most sharply of all. Can we trust his words? It is true, we don't know what we will find as we ride south. I look out over these lone lands and wonder what will happen to them when we have gone. But this is something we must do. Each of us has sworn an oath to Aragorn our chieftain, and none of us will break that oath. We know the risks. None of us would join the Grey Company if we felt its errand was not important enough to brave those risks. For my part, I will not give in to fear of the unknown. We all have our role to play, and I hope only that when I have played mine, the world will have been better for my having been in it.
Saruman, I send you this gift. Knowledge of your enemies. Use it wisely and remember from where it came. From atop the pinnacle, I beheld a great fire and smoke. And when it cleared, my prized captives were gone. How is it you are still alive, Morflock?
We emerged from the dark of the prison caves fewer, but with greater resolve. And with a new ally, Theodred, the Prince of Rohan. We are in his debt, and I will see that debt paid before we leave this land. Uruks pursued us as we fled, and the riders Theodred left at the ford were driven away by their onslaught. The prince was forced onto the island in the middle of the river, attacked from both sides, and we could not reach him. All seemed lost. Prince Theodred left riders at the ford of Isen to guard the passage into Rohan, and he went north with a second group to Isengard. Our victory was short-lived. All was still as the gates of Isengard swung open. Out boiled a mighty force of Saruman's Uruks. They sought to surround us, and Theodred ordered a retreat. And yet, as the sun set and our hopes with it, the sound of a horn signaled the arrival of a new force on the far side of the river. Elfhelm riding hard from Helm's Deep, with many riders at his call. The Uruks retreated before him, and the day was saved, but much was lost and could not be regained.
Along the banks of the great river, you evaded a great evil, but not without cost. The girl Nona was brought before me, wounded and in pain. I did for her what I could, but her fate is not yet clear to me. The veil of sleep passes from your eyes, but the memory of what you have seen remains. The meaning of these troubled dreams, however, remains hidden to you.
I have journeyed on the great river often, and know its swirls and eddies like no other elf. Behold, the Argonath, the pillars of the kings. If we are to cross the plains of Rohan with any speed, we will need war steeds of our own. Horn will need to master his grief if we are to continue. We cannot allow this distraction to steer us away from our true purpose. Nona will return. I am certain of it. In the Golden Hall of Meduseld, we beheld what I have long feared. Theoden King has fallen under the sway of his chief counselor, Grima Wormtongue, who speaks with Saruman's voice. Rohan is imperiled.
Go forth, young ones. Your foe was once like you, but no longer. Cannot the strongest tree grow from the smallest bloom? Though you be defeated, you will leave your mark upon your foe, and he will remember you.
The fortress cannot stand. I will ride from this place and carve a path through the orcs. Who will ride with me? Forth, Aerlingus! If this is to be my end, I welcome it with my sword in hand. Erkenbrand! Erkenbrand and the White Rider! Victory! 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 I know Gandalf too well to believe he comes from my counsel. But you, Theoden King, it is not too late. Only I can help you now. Bah! You do not know the path of wisdom. Good day.
Saruman, I did not say you could go. Gandalf the Grey was betrayed by you, but I am not he. I am Gandalf the White, returned from death. Saruman, your staff is broken. You will work no more mischief here.